Hi, welcome. Cariz to you. I am going to get to a verse by verse Bible study. I have done so twice already. Once I began last year, toward the later part of the year, I don't know, maybe October, November, and I got to the middle of Matthew, from Mark to Matthew, middle of Mark, from Matthew to Mark. And then about 2 months ago, I decided to do it again, and the same thing happened. I thought, look, yeah, I'll just start from the beginning again, and went from Matthew and got through Matthew. I think I got through Matthew. I think I might have even have just got halfway through Matthew. Either way, I'm still not prepared for that. So I'm just going to talk about random things again. What is Christianity? Is it saying a sinner's prayer and going to church and maybe reading your Bible on occasion, maybe praying on occasion, and that's about it? For a great deal of people, that is what Christianity is. For others, it is having a family that is belonging to one particular denomination or another, and they are brought up in that denomination, and that denomination's beliefs is Christianity. To them, no other denomination can have any truth. Every other denomination is of the devil. There are people like that. I was talking to one a couple of months ago, oh, more than a couple of months ago now. I suppose it was half a year ago now. I happened to speak to someone, and the conversation got to God, and uh, that person ended up saying that they had this particular belief, and it's like, Uh, I got them to tell me more, and they said, only our denomination can go to heaven. And it was a matter of, what? Is the Bible denominational? Does the Bible say there is only one denomination and only one denomination can go to heaven? In fact, I think it is non-denominational. I think that you'll find Christians in every denomination. Some denominations may have more Christians than others. Some denominations are highly religious. They have rites of service, and you need to do this, and then you need to do that, and you need to. I don't see all the you need to do this and that in the Bible. There are two sacraments in the Bible: communion and baptism. Other than that, there is nothing that is a request or a demand upon us or an expectation upon us, of course, other than grace itself. And as we know, it is grace that saves you, because Ephesians 2:8 and other verses say, Ephesians 2:8, for by grace you are saved through faith, and that is not of yourselves, it is the gift of God. So, for by grace you are saved. Now, the death of Jesus on the cross was the sacrifice that enabled that grace to work. That was the key that unlocked the door. But grace is the doorknob that you need to turn to open the door. And the door is sin. You need to get that sin out of the way so you can, because it's a sin between you and God. Okay? Now, What is a Christian? As I said, some people think, oh, well, a Christian is somebody that follows my denomination's rules. A Christian is someone that was christened at birth and nothing else matters. I mean, whatever you do after that, it's like you were christened. So that's it. You're going to heaven. So be as sinful as you want. Where does righteousness come in? Well, Adam brought sin into the world. So since that time, everybody gained sinfulness in a sense, let's say, like a genetic disease, that everybody, it's in the blood of everybody ever since. So all human beings are tainted by sin. And sin is that door between you and God. Christ dying on the cross, Christ is the key that unlocks the lock. And grace is the door handle you turn to open the door. So it is grace that lets you in, but only because Christ unlocked it. Okay, you follow where I'm heading? So sure, the process of salvation began with the cross. It began by unlocking the door. But that door is still shut. Nobody's turned the knob, nobody's pushed the door. And if you push the door without turning that knob, it's still not going to open. Sin doesn't just miraculously disappear. It is a process that it is removed by the grace of God. For by grace you are saved through faith. It is grace, the doorknob that you need to turn and open and remove that sin. Because grace is an action, and in that action, it is the divine influence on your heart. It's God moving your heart to deal with the sin, to make you desire Him, and in you desiring Him, you desire to show love to both God and to everyone in the world. And if you want to show everyone in the world love, you don't steal from them. If you want to show them love, you don't cheat them. If you want to show them love, you don't lie to them. See where I'm heading here? If you want to love God, you want to be godly. And if you want to be godly, those sins just become irrelevant. Not because the you can now do whatever you want and that they're therefore they are no longer sin. No, they are still sin. It's just that you have no interest in doing those sins anymore. So what is a Christian? A Christian is someone who has come to the realization that they cannot either achieve a heavenly life now or achieve a beneficial afterlife under their own strength. There is nothing you can do in your strength to get to God or to a good afterlife. Because, well, firstly, do we even go to heaven? The Bible talks about the two criminals on the crosses beside Jesus. One mocked him, and the other one defended him from the one who mocked him. And the one who defended him said, when you go to your kingdom, Lord, remember me. And Yeshua. I'm going to say more often than Jesus now because many reasons I've mentioned before. There was no J in the English language until about um, 600 to 800 years ago. And we know Josephus called him Yeshua, and Josephus was the most reliable historian of that time during his lifetime. And all the books of the Bible, etc., were written decades after his life. So, what's the most reliable thing we have about his name? Josephus. And there's more evidence of that, etc. You can look at historical changes. It was um, Isus before uh, Jesus, and it was Isua, I believe, before Isus, and that change was made about 300 to 500 AD. I don't recall. Anyway, I'm going to use Yeshua more. Is that something that we need to say, Yeshua, rather than Jesus? I'm doing so out of respect. Is that an important thing upon salvation? Okay. Miley Cyrus, for example, is a singer. Everybody knows who Miley Cyrus is. Well, not everyone, but most people, so I'll use Miley Cyrus. Her name at birth was Destiny Hope Cyrus, daughter of Billy Ray Cyrus, already a famous singer. And his fame put her into a TV show, and he created, I think, the TV show. And at the end of the TV show, she wanted to change her image, etc., and she wanted to change her name. And she had always had the nickname Miley, which came from Smiley, which was what they called her as a baby because she smiled a lot as a baby. And she was quite happy to use that nickname. So now, and she legally changed her name, and now she is known as Miley Cyrus, not her birth name. So it is quite acceptable to use Miley Cyrus. Is it quite acceptable to use Jesus as a nickname? Maybe, I don't know. So therefore, I can't judge. I cannot say, oh, you're wrong for not using his name. The Bible does say that there is only one name under heaven by which you must be saved, etc. So, um, how relevant is that to a nickname if we look at Jesus as a nickname? Don't know. But that's not what I'm talking about. What is a Christian? A Christian is someone who has come to the realization that they cannot save themselves in the afterlife and or for the afterlife. There is nothing they can do. They must accept his sacrifice. But far more than that, sure, we accept the sacrifice. And then what do? Go living our life the way we did? No. If your life doesn't change, there is no evidence that that sinner's prayer meant anything more than lip service. You weren't just saying it to hopefully get your ticket into heaven. You were putting the wrong key in that lock. Any old key doesn't open the lock. It must be the key that matches. The pattern on the key must match the interconnected pattern inside the lock, or it won't work. Put a key with some other pattern in it into that lock, it won't turn. So saying a sinner's prayer does nothing without following on with a life that is now dedicated to God. You become a servant of God. And more than that, not just a servant of God, you're a slave of God. You are committed to God, you are bound to God, you are his slave. After all, the word doulos means slave, and uh, Paul and Peter and James would open their letters saying, Peter, a slave of Jesus Christ, or Paul, a slave of Jesus Christ. I think Peter said an apostle and slave of Jesus Christ. Same thing. Where are you at mentally? Oh no, I'm a wonderful Christian. I'm not a slave. Maybe you don't understand. Maybe your key hasn't actually turned that lock because the door's still shut. I can tell the door's still shut because sin, that door, comes from self almost all the time. My pride, my ego, my desire, my need. I want that, so I'll steal that. I want that, so I'll cheat to get that. I like what I think, so I'll call you a liar. I don't want to be seen as guilty, so I will lie to be seen as innocent. So a person may think they are all about themselves, the I, the me. And I just realized somebody could edit this and take it all out of context, but that's irrelevant. The whole flow of what I'm saying is historically here now. But where are you at? Is that you? Have I described you? Somebody that still has the me in their life? A Christian is somebody who has laid their life down, the me. Matthew, let's go look this one up while I say it. Matthew 16:24, I believe. He talks about picking up your cross. Okay. Then I'm going to read it as it is from the literal standard version, because that's the one that's open in front of me right now. I have five Bibles on the screen. Uh, Literal standard version, literal version, King James version, international standard version, actually four on the screen. Um, anyway, doesn't matter. Literal standard version, that's the one open. Then Jesus said to his disciples, if anyone wills to come after me, let him disown himself and take up his cross and follow me. I've mentioned this a bit lately. Do you? Have you disowned yourself? Oh, it's all about me. Okay. Have you said, God, I can't get the me out of my life. I can't get the me out of my heart. So I want you to come into my heart and push the me out. The ego, the pride, the love I have for myself, the needs I think I think, the desires I have. Push it all out. It's like, oh, make me no longer desire anything about me, but make me desire you so much that me doesn't exist. You really need to ask God to do that because anyone that tries to get themselves out of their life, that tries to become humble, I will become humble. I will. Well, how can you? Because you're relying on yourself to do it. How can you remove you? How can you make yourself humble? Because if it's under my strength that I will make myself humble, you're relying on your own strength. You're saying the only way I can become humble is under my power. You're glorifying your strength to be able to become humble. Can't be done. You can only rely on God to do that. Because God resists the proud and gives grace to the humble. And I think that is 2 Peter 3 or something like that. Um, I don't recall where that is, uh, but no, I can't even. I just went for a bit of a quick scroll and can't see it. So um, I do know where I can find that, or another piece of information somewhere I've got that would be able to help me. Oh, is it there? I've got some notes on some other documents in another part of my computer. I was thinking it might be with those, but I just thought, hang on, no, it probably won't be. Yeah, man. No, that's about law and stuff. But that's another point. So we need that humility. We need that grace. We need to let God turn us to Christ and to let God bring the fruits of the Spirit out, the love, the joy, peace, patience, kindness, goodness, faithfulness, gentleness, and self-control. We need to let go of legalism. Sure. We need to get sin out of the way. Can you get sin out of the way if you hold on to legalism? Oh, I'll push the door open, but I'm going to hold on to it because I need to keep in my mind what sin is, and I need to keep in my mind the law. I need to read the law and focus on the law and preach the law and not let go of that door. I can't get very far into this room, but I can't let go of that door. Don't hold on to the door. Be sinless, but not legalistic. Don't focus on the law. Focus on God. Does God want you to focus on the law? By no means. There's a lot of scriptures I can read on that. Um, let's just quickly go find one. Uh, Romans 6:14, for sin shall not have dominion over you, for ye are not under the law, but under grace. Therefore, I obey the word, law of the spirits in brackets there, not the Old Testament. Mosaic. Oh, okay, that's my comment afterwards. So, but Romans 6:14, for sin shall not have dominion over you, for ye are not under the law, but under grace. Does grace give you freedom to sin? No. It says for sin will not have dominion over you. Sin will not make you do those bad things. It will have no power to make you cheat, lie, steal, murder, lust, whatever. you won't have a mind to do those things. Your mind will be on God. Your mind will be on spreading God. Your mind will be on showing Christ to everyone you meet. Is that how you live your life? All you want to do is share godly things and show God to people by helping them, giving to them, telling them about God. Everyone you ever meet, you want to be good to and direct them to God through it. After all, um, Colossians 4, this one I do know, 5 and 6, 4 and 5, 5 and 6. Walk in wisdom towards those outside, redeeming the time. So use your time wisely and be wise with people outside the church, the unsaved. And 6 follows to explain that. Your word always being seasoned with salt in grace, to know how it is necessary for you to answer each one. So, if you're acting appropriately, you will be saying something seasoned and seasoned in salt. And what did salt do? Makes it tasty. So you say appealing things to them, not, oh, you're looking really good today. Not patronizing things, but hey, you know, I can show you how I got all this joy and happiness in my life. And I can show you how you can get the same kind of joy and happiness and love in your life and all these wonderful things. This is the quick version, and I'm talking to you, not somebody outside, but all these wonderful things come through having God in your life. You want that, don't you? You want these wonderful things. Or you want the ticket to heaven. And again, we don't go to heaven. That's where I was before. The um, criminal on the other side of the cross said, "Remember me." And Christ turned to him and said, "Today you'll be with me in paradise." Not in heaven, in paradise. So he went to paradise after death. Okay. Do we not go to heaven? Well, the Bible also says that after 1,000 years, God creates a new heaven and a new earth, not 1,000 years from when Jesus died, but from the end times, the Great Tribulation and the rapture, etc. After 1,000 years, he creates a new heaven and a new earth and a new Jerusalem, and he resides in the new Jerusalem. Why? He doesn't want us to go to heaven. He wants us to live here on earth with him. Okay? So we weren't made to go to heaven anyway. But it's all about the relationship, the grace, having God in your life, and it's built upon a foundation of knowing the word. Because if you don't know the word, well, you don't really know God. I mean, you could think of God as someone Buddha-like or Krishna-like or something like that, some other religion or whatever. What is the nature of God? Well, you don't know until you read the word and find out. You don't know how to live as a Christian until you read the word and find out. Foundation is the word. Some people can read that word all their life and still not understand it. And they're legalistic, etc. Oh, you've got to live by the law. No, you've got to live by grace. Let that sin go. Forget about it In other words, you're not doing it. I'm not going to focus on that door. I'm going to keep walking into that room and live the godly life, the life bringing love, joy, peace, patience, kindness, goodness, faithfulness, gentleness, and self control to others, not hate, anger, sin, and whatever else. And we do all these good things to work our way to heaven. No, you can't work your way to heaven, but you still do all those good things, just like a person that's trying to work their way to heaven. Oh, I've got to do good things to get to heaven. So some people think. No, you are saved due to that key, the death of Jesus, but through opening the door handle, through grace. And grace is your connection to God. It's God influencing your heart, so much so that it can be seen in your life. People can see the love, the joy, the peace in you and go, wow, what's this about you? I want this. Tell me how I can get it. And the I want this, tell me how I can get it is back to Colossians 5. Walk in wisdom towards those outside, redeeming the time, your word always being seasoned with salt and grace. So you're showing godly things in your word, what you say. You express God to them to know how it is necessary for you to answer each one. So, how you express God to each person can vary, but that's what you're doing. You're expressing God. Okay, so what's a Christian? Someone that's walking a godly life, not under their strength and not to get to heaven, and not, oh, well, they're the knots, not under your own strength and not to get to heaven, but to glorify God and show God to people because you are just amazed in awe by all the change in your life and the wonderful things that He's doing in your life. That joy that you're gaining, that peace that you're gaining, the love you're gaining for everyone around you, even those that you used to dislike. You now look at them and think, I wish I had an opportunity just to tell them about God. Maybe they can change. Maybe we might end up liking each other or something or the like. Doesn't matter. What does matter is everyone needs God and they need it. They need God too. Okay, I've rattled on way too long. Bless you. Govern well. Caris to you.